We're talking with Kyle Campbell, and we're talking about Gen Z. We're talking about educating them about economic issues. These are going to hit Gen Z much harder than they'll ever hit me because, they've got a lot of debt and life ahead of them, hopefully not too much debt. One of the big things is student debt. And I want to share a quick story from my daughter. When we had the election in 2016, my daughter was in elementary school, I think, middle school, and she had all her friends, and they were talking about, who are you going to vote for? And some of her friends said Bernie Sanders. I want to vote for Bernie Sanders. Well, why? Well, because he's going to make it to where I don't have to pay for my college. College will be free, and he'll pay off all the student debt and all of that. And my daughter said, okay, how are they going to pay that off? Who's going to pay it? The answer is the government, right? And where does the government get its money? I don't know. They print it, I guess. I don't know where they get it. She said they're going to tax it. They're going to tax it from your parents first, and then they're going to tax it from you. And then you're going to be paying for that, whether you go to college or not, for the rest of your life, because that debt is going to come to you regardless of whether you got the benefit of college. Oh, I didn't think about that. Why don't young people understand where money comes from?
It hasn't come to their doorstep yet. And this is one of the reasons that Donald Trump won this election so resoundingly, was because the economic issues and the future that Gen Z was facing financially came to them finally. It finally dawned on them, hey, I might never own a home, be able to afford a home. I can barely pay my rent. I can't pay my insurance. I can't attend
that was on
college.
the cover of the Washington Post, where they said, lower your expectations. That's what they told them. Don't think about buying a home anymore, but maybe getting a townhome or a condo or a nice apartment.
And Kamala Harris said that the American dream is no longer a thing. The American dream is dead. And I think that really hit home with so many people. And the assumption that these kids are dumb, and they're not. They're smart and passionate and motivated, and they want the life that their parents had and had set up for them. And so it really dawned on them, hey, wait a minute, we can't continue on with this. And there's that connection, right? That what is happening in America, in our economy, with this debt and with inflation and the affordability isn't sustainable. And they do finally get it. Now, the schools aren't educating on this. We're reliant now on voices like yours, thank God, to help them understand it. But when it becomes relevant to their lives in such an impactful way, a huge way that affects their entire future, they're paying attention and they want to know. They want this information.
Well, it's an obvious answer to this is government's been growing faster than the private sector, and we've got to have the private sector growing faster than government. Otherwise, everybody ends up being a government employee, and that's how you backdoor socialism. The answer is you grow your economy faster than you grow your government, and then the debt is taken care of over time. You got to cut the government size, and you got to increase. So we want to unleash entrepreneurs. I remember when I was in college, I talked to my professors. They were all Marxist, and they asked me, because my dad was a stockbroker, they said, what's a good investment? I was like, what do you care? You're a Marxist. You don't believe in capitalism. They said, well, a man's got to make a little money. And I learned personal capitalism is different than theoretical Marxism. At the end of the day, what if we unleash entrepreneurs? What if we unleash, that's why they like Elon Musk.
That's it.
He's Tony Stark.
Yes.
He builds things. He does things. He's the richest man on planet Earth because he's built amazing things. Young people are creative. We interviewed just a patent guy yesterday, Randy Landrino, who he was sharing on how the patent system has been turned against individual inventors and captured by large corporations. How can we make young people realize economic liberty requires less government, not more government?
Yeah, the growth and the creativity being unleashed is the key here. And this is what our younger generations are best at. They're hungry. They want to see if they can become the next Elon Musk or the next Vivek Ramaswamy. We've always had that spirit here in America. It's why other nations' parents send their kids to America to go to college, because they're not getting that creative spirit there. And we do it like nobody else does it here. So you're exactly right. And two, we've talked about this, the regulations. We cannot be such a tightly regulated nation and then grow and bolster that entrepreneurial spirit.